talk to this person in South Carolina and my ex finds out, then he's not going to be able to see my kids. So they've cut me out so that they can still see them. And that's so common. It's like, okay,
very common.
Because they're literally, when you said Stockholm, they're literally capturing these kids. And like, I'm literally doing this so that if I end up dead, my daughters will push play someday. And all of this is being documented so they will know, and my son, they will know how hard I fought. And the thing that kills me is, and you said this early in your interview, what are these children learning? When my ex-husband kicked me out, cut me off, and left me for dead, like literally left me for dead on this, like couldn't have cared less, and then goes, she committed a crime. No, I didn't. You falsified an emergency, called the police, which is a crime, and then the baby monitor cameras showed you coming in and out of the house 9 times during a period you claimed to be locked out of a home that you had a key to and 2 garage door openers. Make it make sense, right? So he falsified an emergency, misused once again our tax dollars, utilized his position of power and authority. I did the whole like, everything's fine here. You guys know what the sign means, right? Yeah. It's like, please help me, I'm not safe. And then you're going, no, everything's fine, I'm totally good. The police are so poorly trained. Point of the story is, he commits a crime, hides his weapons, kicks me out, and then can't hold me criminally because the DA is like, yeah, no, we're not prosecuting this. Fast forward, my dad says something to me that still sticks with me. He goes, Autumn, if you're crazy, because I was like, Dad, I'm just gonna go back. Like, I'm just gonna go back. Like, I'm gonna go back. And my dad was mad at me because he'd already helped me get out. And then I got pregnant again, and then I went back. My dad's like, if you go back, I'm done. Like, I'm not helping you get out again, which totally understand. I get it, it's tough love. I wouldn't have stayed out if he hadn't done that. Point of the story is, he goes, Autumn, remember when your sister-in-law tried to leave your brother? And I said, yes. And he goes, your brother is sick, he's an alcoholic. And she said to him, you either get help or I'm gone. And she had the money to do it. He goes, that is what your vows say in sickness and in health. Your husband claims that you're sick, and if you're so sick, he was willing to let you be raped on the street, sleep in your car, be attacked by homeless people. Like, that's not love, that's abuse. And the sooner you wake up, little girl, the sooner you'll realize it. And it was like, it took my dad putting it in those terms for me to be like, oh my gosh, he's right. Like, what am I showing my daughters if I crawl back? I literally waved a white flag at him, literally waved a white freaking towel at him during one of our exchanges. And I look back at that and I'm like, I would have done anything for my kids. And now it's like, what's the point? That was when I thought that family court was just. And now that I know what I know, I truly do not think that there is an answer. I don't even think court watching is the answer. I truly think a nationwide boycott by women in family court, and then every single one, I should be in court today. I am objecting because this is a fundamental violation of my constitutional rights. And they state every single thing, and they say, I'm calling for a state bar investigation of this lawyer for these reasons, and I'm calling for a judicial disqualification of this judge for this reason. And the people who have the evidence will not be prosecuted, because in order for you to be prosecuted for a crime, there has to be injury and victim. So you have to be able to say who is the victim and what is the injury. And if they can't prove either of those things in the, like, a criminal court is beyond a reasonable doubt, and a civil court is preponderance of evidence. And that's the difference. They cannot criminally, like, prosecute you. So like you served 10 days, 11 days?
11 days for contempt of court.
And you served 2? Out of civil court.
Yes. They were both civil court. And they literally was like, said that same kind of thing, that I was in contempt of court when I wasn't. It was just to put me in jail, to have a record that she doesn't behave. Yeah. We need to slap her hand.
That's what I
think. This is the modern day witch trials, and it's the modern day. My ex-husband literally has a journal where it says, Autumn was well behaved today in front of senior leaders, meaning his bosses. And then the next time I was a bad girl and I said something in front of his bosses, and that was my punishment. She was bad today. What fucking, sorry, oh, they're back. What year is it? It's 2025. It's like women behaving badly, like we are still being treated like a subordinate class because men don't have to behave. They get to do and say whatever they want. And I'm seeing that more and more in this space where I'm like, how have you not been held? Like, yeah, they get...
My biggest thing is, how there's document that they're behaving this way with one person, and then they say they can be around the other person or be around the other child or be around it. Just because they're abusive with one person doesn't mean they're going to be abusive with the other.
Like,
but that's not true.
When you're the family court judges from the DSS court judges to, here they're separate. That family court are they mostly male judges that are the worst versus the female judges, and then vice versa. I don't think it matters in DSS court, male or female, but in family court,
our female judge in Cabarrus County though does play for the same team, so I don't think she counts as a female. She actually
no, mine are vicious. They're vicious. Females, two females, vicious. And the one she came across like, hey everybody, can we all just sit down? And she lures you in.
Like in a high-pitched voice, and then like, this is what's gonna happen to you. Like
it's
they even
wild.
Change their voice.
It's wild.
Like they're like, it's like this is how.
I've seen it in DSS.
It's like
court.
talking to a dog and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna send you to the sausage factory. I'm gonna send you to the sausage factory," and the dog is like happy, because of the voice that you're saying it in, and then the content of what they're saying is horrible.
Yeah.
And because you're responding to the content, they're like, "You're insane. I'm being nice to you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My judge, one of my judge, she, her parents were killed in a car accident. Like they have it. Like I looked up her judicial profile, and like on her profile it says like her parents were killed in a car accident when she was young. So I went into my court case with this judge, and I was like, I felt so much sadness for her and so much empathy, and I was like, this poor woman didn't grow up with parents, so she joined family court to make a difference, and surely she's going to err on the side of like what is good and is decent and is moral, and instead she has gone so far in the other direction and completely like not even a little bit followed the law, not even a little bit followed the Constitution.
One of my guardian ad litems definitely had Stockholm syndrome herself, like hated her mother, was raised by her father. And I'm a very religious person, a spiritual person, and I just gave her a prophetic word, and there's no way I could have known. And I was like, well, when you get pregnant and you have this little girl, you are going to stop trying to take all the children from all these women that you've continued to do. And that her name was Catherine Hutasahut with Council for Children's Rights right here in Mecklenburg County, and she ended up pregnant, and she ended up having a little girl, and she and that was the biggest thing my ex-husband said I was crazy about, was the spiritual stuff.
There's so many women who are, my ex tried to do the same thing with I had a podcast before where I talked about mediumship, metaphysics. He's the one who took me to these churches to like encourage me to find faith, because I didn't really have any. I went to church as a kid. I grew up Lutheran, but like I was like, yeah, sure, Jesus, and da. Like I said the things that I knew I was supposed to say, but my ex-husband was my God. He was on my altar. And then eventually when I started to heal, like the things that I needed to heal, I had a brother killed, I was molested when I was a kid. Like when I started to heal those things inside myself, and then I truly came to Christ, it was the Catholic Church. I converted to Catholicism after 15 years of marriage from my ex-husband. Within 6 months of converting, not even, I converted April 2022. By September, this guy's having an exorcism arranged for me with the Catholic Church. And the priests at my church were like, ma'am, it is 2025. We don't do that anymore. And I said that to my ex. I said, Dan, I called, Father Omar called me, and he goes, and did you get this exorcism? I was like, they said they don't do those anymore. He did put me through a class. He did put me through some Q&As. Like, can I
It's like trying to release you from the demons that he has.
He said I was afflicted. He said I was afflicted. I had demons. And like, he had me convinced. I was like, maybe I am. You get so warped that I was like, I can't possibly do anything more.
My third husband, he's a preacher, and I've like that. He has really helped me with healing, and like normalcy. Like someone doesn't cuss me out, doesn't scream at me, doesn't call me names, doesn't tell me like belittle me. Just like I thought that was normal. I thought that was normal way that people behaved. Like they treated me like that, and I just was supposed to take it.
So I ended up driving up. I was supposed to take a flight last night, and I ended up on the phone with 2 survivors who are military survivors. And I said, call this man. His name is Christian Nannery. He is a U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division's officer, formerly a federal marshal with the Texas Marshals, and a father's right person named David Segee had given me his information. He goes, call him, he'll help you with your ex. He gives me all the tea on what all the bad things my ex had done. And then when I called and reported him, or when I reported this other father who was like extorting women with like naked photos, and then like threatening to place, like to put fentanyl on them. And I got this from like the woman's husband. So I'm just like, this is such a dirty, dirty space. Both of these men like profess to be men of God. And they're like, I'm this, I'm that. So anyways, I outed him last night. I smoked him out just by placing a few phone calls. And I was like, call this guy and tell him what's going on. And he listens. And then he goes, oh, I really wish there was something I could do, but it's not my jurisdiction. Okay, then whose jurisdiction is it? And where do these women report that they've been raped, or that they've been videotaped, or that they're being solicited? Like, if you're a police officer in some manner, if you hold a badge, give us the jurisdiction. Well, instead of responding like a normal human being, he starts screaming at me, and I'm like, that tracks. That tracks. You're a police officer and you're screaming at me? And I go, I'm so sorry. He's like, you're not going to control this conversation. I said, you're absolutely right, but I have a very strict policy that I no longer allow men to scream at me. You're not going to control. Okay, sir, I'm going to repeat. I have a very strict policy that I do not allow men to yell, well, you're not. And I go, okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. And I hung up on him after I had asked him 3 times. I said, if you are not the law enforcement who I'm supposed to be reporting to, who should I report to? Who should I report to? Who should I report to? I called you a month ago and reported that there is a man extorting women, and you did nothing because they don't. So even in Mecklenburg County, this is Mecklenburg County, they won't take police reports. Like that girl with the script situation, we had to go 7 or 8 times before they even took police reports. They wouldn't even take the reports. Yeah. The only reason they even prosecuted and actually gave her 8 felonies that then they dropped was Cabarrus County was the county that my office was at, and she stole it out of that office, so she got a felony and a misdemeanor in Cabarrus County for actually stealing it, but she used it in Mecklenburg County. So, she could have a felony for every single script she wrote. She could have a felony for every single pill. Like, the felonies could be numerous. It was 12 different people that she wrote it under. But, this is her first offense. No, she didn't do it under one person. Well, it was 12 different repeated offenses. That's why she took it from Cabarrus and did the crime in Mecklenburg, because most people know you're not being prosecuted in Mecklenburg. This child abuse charges, I can pretty sure that they're probably going to drop it. So what is the solution? You say run for office. Got it. We're working on that. And just stand in the gap for me. The DA is going to receive an email from me tonight. I'm pleading with her to prosecute to the full extent of the law. Make sure you CC North Carolina at trebpod.com and Untitled Family Court at gmail.com. So those are our 2 productions. Okay. And if you are watching and you are in any state, your email for reporting any crimes, anything that you want to whistleblow, is yourstate at trebpod, trebpod.com. And we are taking testimonials, like everything. Because at this point, that's the only thing I can do is I just go, okay, send it to me. Because I can't keep doing this and hearing these stories over and over and over and over. It's like, what do we have to do to reach escape velocity? Yeah. And I mean, the thing is we've been through trauma. Yeah, we've been through all this stuff. And there might be times that we like responded emotionally, or we yelled at people, or whatever it was. And so we look like the crazy. But the truth is I mean, I did ER ICU trauma for 18 years, and now I've been a medical provider for almost 8 years. Taking care of like buildings full of people and having my own business, working 2 jobs to pay my exes and take care of my kids. I not only take care of 8 people in my household, but actually had to pay both of my ex-husbands that abused me. But yet, they want to gatekeeper me. They want to gag. I don't have a current gag order, but I've had a gag order. Gag orders are fundamentally unconstitutional. There is no such thing. You cannot preempt speech. So if anybody says that they have a gag, tell them to fuck off and put you under oath. Maybe don't do that, but say, you cannot preempt my speech. You didn't know I was going to say fuck off, which means you can't preempt my speech. It's the exact same reason why Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air, because they tried to preempt his speech.
So
Can't do that.
I have a current gatekeeper order that's supposed to be for 5 years, so my older kids would just age out. But I can't get them back. They just won't let. They're
She can't file anything.
I can't
She's
file
blocked
anything.
for filing.
I'm just like,
Were you a
Unless she has a lawyer, she can't file.
Are you a
anything.
litigious, vexatious litigant? Is that what
They
they?
didn't say that, but they just said I have a gatekeeper order. Probably because it's in retaliation because there's an open federal lawsuit on them.
What is your federal lawsuit?
It's against.
Whatever you can talk about.
Yeah, it's against all the. I mean, Christy Wilhelm, Nathaniel Knuts, Jay White, Donna Johnson, Randall Hastings, like the lawyers that played the monopoly behind the scenes with these.
Yeah.
With these judges.
With your children, with
my
the-
children,
yeah.
and my lives. And the thing is like, it's all a game to them, you know. And I've spent like $500,000, you know. And even in the last couple of years, I had to pay that $2,800 a month. That's $33,000 a year. So I've spent over $100,000 in child support in the last 3 years. I had to pay $70,000 to my ex-husband and $30,000 in lawyer fees.
Mark my words, child support's going to be the next thing to fall. With the executive order that Trump just did on foster care, where they put the money on the outside of the system, meaning these kids have to age out of foster care, meaning they have to actually keep track of them. They can't turn into ghost kids. Because I don't know if you guys are tracking the HHS reports. They had from 2018 to 2020, 35,000 kids went missing, and the state still got paid for these kids, which I think it's genius the way that they jailbroke this, because they took the funds that these, you know, instead of defunding CPS, which would have gotten everybody upset, what they did instead, they put the carrot on the outside, and they said, hey, you guys want more money? Then you got to get these grown kids through the system, and then we will give them the funds that they need as foster care kids and or like aged out to get these services to become exactly what you're talking about, educated citizens. Mm-hmm. I started my career as a social studies teacher, and the number one thing that we have failed to do in this country is ensure that, exactly, if we do not have an educated citizenry, we're not a democracy. Yep. We're no better than any third world country. We're no better than like what do they call them, a banana republic?
And most people don't pay attention to who's running. They don't take a part in it, and don't vote.
Yeah.
A lot of times, even when you court watch, you ask a person, do you vote? They don't vote. Oh, our vote don't count. Yes, it is. We got one right now with one by a coin toss. If they could have got one more vote, but instead they had to toss a coin. Every vote matters, but we got to get out. You got to vote. And you got to find those candidates. If you got a problem with a judge, get pissed off and find an opponent. Primary them off the bench in their own party, get them off the bench in the general election with the opposing party, but work with whoever that is, recruit, train, find candidates.
So in order to do that, they would need to know like when their filing deadlines are and who needs to...
Your local board of election.
And what's would you just say like, what's the quickest way to figure out how to do it in your county? ChatGPT.
So 2026 elections for Mecklenburg and Cabarrus, you're filing in December 18th. So if you're running in 26, you have to file before December 18th.
So 9 months before.
December 18th of this year. So the upcoming
But then the
weeks,
election wouldn't be until November.
So, and then, the election. So you do that in
months.
December, but if there's a primaries are going to happen in March. Early voting started in February, so those that are being primary, you got about 90 days before early voting starts, and then whoever comes out of the primary moves into the general that be on the ballot for November. So if someone even has the thought, and you're in that deadline, file for 26, run for legislation.
She wants me to run, but everybody that's in the little monopoly, I'm totally against every behavior that they've done. So it's like, it's difficult. They're not going to let me in. Does that make sense? They already have it set. Like, I guess the people could decide and boot them off, but that's the problem, is there's too much of a good old boys, like, wasn't it the Murdoch or somebody that, like, the small, like, where they murdered everybody? And it was like a whole documentary.
Murdoch.
It's about that bad in Cabarrus County.
Is that here or that's South Carolina?
It's here. Cabarrus is next door. It's where we both
Murdoch is Cabarrus County?
No, not Murdoch. No,
it was in South Carolina, but they should sing that song about the Reba McEntire, the blood in the the judge in the town has blood stains on his hands. You know what I mean? Like, they don't rest your soul with those backwoods Southern lawyers.
Yeah.
Because the judge in the town has blood stains on his hands. But talking about the gag
Hell
order
yeah.
and the gatekeeper order, that I would just be out there with a megaphone in front of Cabarrus County singing, and I was literally singing. And so, you know, I'm still talking, but I'm not exactly talking about the court situation, you know. And I would be singing about, you know, Jesus. I would be proclaiming the word of God, but just adding, you know, Jay White in there, you know, like Annie Wilson.
I remember that.
I really do. I feel like do you guys know about George Washington's Invisible Army and how they won the Revolution? So there was this group of patriots, and it was called, they're literally called the Invisible Patriot, and it was in Saskatoon, Long Island, near the Connecticut, kind of the sound between Connecticut and Long Island, New York. And the Revolutionary, or the British forces had that on lock. That was like their home, like they were like running everything out of there. And so George Washington had this group of spies. They were called the Kubler spies, Washington's army, Washington spies. They go by different names. And essentially, they were just the layperson. They were the farriers that did horses' hooves. They were the teachers, the, you know, seamstresses, the iron workers, the what do you call the people who were doing the press? I'm drawing a blank. But point of the story is they were everyday people hiding in plain sight under British captivity, but they were doing the invisible ink and they were sending out their things. And I honestly think that is what we need right now, is this invisible army to become visible, because we're there. I have met so many people, and that's like, I'm completely self-funded. I made the mistake of taking a $750 donation that I refunded because I'm done. I'm like, nobody can buy me, nobody can influence me, nobody can say what they want. Like, I'm done. I'm like, I've done this all on my own to show my daughters that if somebody loves you, they don't leave you on the street to die. But if somebody hates you, they will let that be who they think you are, and it is your duty and it is your job to rise above that and show them.
A narcissist will leave you on the street to die or strip everything of you, but they're going to be the first person to try to act like I'm the only one pulling you up.
Oh my gosh!
So they make you think like they didn't kick you down there to begin with. You know
I used to say, I said, I feel like a bag of garbage. One day I'm on the curb, the next day they're dragging me back in. Next day I'm on the curb, wait, I'm like, am I recycling? Am I garbage? Am I less than? Like, do I deserve? You know what they say? Women, it's mostly women, but people in family court, there's and I can't remember what it's called, you're providing, look this up. There is a disorder, but it's not really a disorder, that slaves had when they were trying to escape captivity. And it's the same thing that they're seeing showing up in family court survivors. It's this idea that there is no escape, even if you run away.
Hopeless. You start to feel hopeless, like there's never going to be change. Well, that's where God comes in.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I felt hopeless many a times, but I can't stop fighting.
We've escaped, like I call it escape velocity. And when President Trump signed that order, like he was signing it, I feel like as you and I were talking, or right before, or right after we had talked, and I was in Miami doing an interview that just like, it bled into multiple days because I was supposed to go to something with this person on a Thursday, and then right before she's like, oh, I got the week wrong, and I was like, okay, then I'm going to go. But
did I send it to you? I didn't. I looked it up. I have it.
I want to see the whole bill, because all they put out there is just a little...
Just a White House thing.
They've only put like the EO for it, but...
So while she's looking it up, I'm going to tell you.
It's right here.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, but they just got, like she said, a breakdown.
Yeah, I want to see the actual... Do you know how an executive order works? So like a bill has the bill number on it.
Right away.
And it's boom. It's like, this is now happening.
And what's the name of it?
So that's what they're trying...
The future for American children and families.
What does it stand? Can I see the acronym? FFACF.
FFACF.
Yeah. I just sent it to you. But yep, I will be looking it up and reading in the details. If you go to, you can go online, because you should be able to, the executive order, to see the full order. When you go into the White House records, you should be able to see the full order. But
The
just a
problem is
breakdown looks good.
passing the laws, making them abide by them. So we have good laws out there.
It's the oversight, the accountability.
They're immune to not having to follow the laws at all. They're taking children on these ex parte orders, seven ex parte orders of mine with no evidence at all. You know.
F.A. what? I'm listening. What was it? F.A. what?
FFACF. FFACF.
So the AFC.
Fostering families. Fostering future children, families.
I love it when they do a good acronym. There's one going around right now that's like FAFO, and it's like Families Against Oversight in Family Courts or something. I'm like FAFO. I love that.
They have to have some more stricter oversight, and that's probably going to vary from county to county with the chief judge administrative orders. But that's the thing, is you're working with legislator on one thing, and then your superior court judge, when it comes to administrative orders and administrative business of the court, is coming from that person, just like a bail policy from county to county changes because it's done by the superior court judge and the chief judge together.
Speaking of ASCC, are you
which part of identifying which part of the law is being broken by these judges and DSS? And then putting things in place to govern, to give some oversight.
Speaking of AFCC, have you guys heard of this? Do you know what it is?
I went with y'all to.
No. Oh, so that's that's the Family Justice and Accountability Act, which they're working on getting an executive order for, like the parts that the foster care executive order didn't cover, because the foster care did actually cover a lot of stuff that was in that bill. So the AFCC is the Association of Family Courts, like consolidation something. It's a Ponzi scheme where there's 3,600 members who self-deal within their counties. So what I'm advocating for is every single person in family court find the list, the AFCC. I may or may not have a copy with all 3,000 members on it because I paid for a membership, and so I have my members, my co-members of this group, if anybody wants it. Look on that list and see how many of the people in your family court are on that list. The guardian ad litems, the lawyers, the judges, the paid supervised visitation providers, like the gals, like they're all, the psych evaluators, they're all on this list. And it is it's a RICO scheme. It is a self-dealing, like, system.
Everybody's getting rich.
Everybody's getting rich, and the American
the judge get elected, then they get their friend a clerk job, and then their other friend working DS, and everybody gets a piece.
That's what she was saying, that she was mostly per se, and I spent all of that money, $500,000, doing all this. The only time I've received justice is when I was per se.
Yeah.
Because your own lawyer keeps your kids from you to keep getting paid.
Yes. And then you have to report them to the bar, and the bar is either going to take action or not take action. Were you the one telling me that they don't tell you what they do?
No, they don't tell you.
Is that just here in North Carolina, or is that?
I don't know. I know in North Carolina they're not going to tell you exactly how they're going to discipline them. They give you an idea that they found something procedural or whatever, but they don't tell you what they're going to do about it. The only time you know is when they recommend to be prosecuted.
They haven't said, we found nothing on was Jay White, so I don't know if they I don't know if they did something, but now he won't come into the courtroom at the same time I'm there. So I don't know if they did slap his hand and say he needs to stay away from me. But
they don't tell you what they do.
Is they won't receive. You try to file a lawsuit or whatever. When they're given documents, even by a officer or whatever, they run away. We literally had one judge run up into the bushes and not receive the papers. And they're like, the lawsuit isn't real because nobody got served. Or they all didn't get served. This is how we're failing service.
Yes.
But you can see everything's computerized now, that they refuse service. You know what I mean?
Yep. Okay.
So it's funny.
So what do we do when you report a crime and then, whoa, my phone is just now finally apparently accepting messages. When you report a crime and then this is the response of law enforcement, which this was in a public place and I was on speakerphone and he's screaming at me.
Texted you earlier today. And by the way, I was in the middle of doing something family related, so I'm not staring at my phone all day. I'll let you in on that little tidbit.
Okay. So could you please go ahead and provide me with, because this call's not going anywhere. I'm in the middle of something and I need to get myself to safety. So if you could either text me or tell me who these other authorities I should be reporting to are, because I'm pretty sure you're law enforcement and you've got a badge, and if you don't want it to be you because it's not in your jurisdiction, even though this involves uniformed service members.
No. So the way you just put it, it's not that I don't want it to be me. It is not legally in my jurisdiction. That means I don't get to pick and choose like that. It's not how it works. And the other thing is, when you put something on text that says you either call me in 12 hours, that's extortion.
Wait for it.
No, it's not, Christian. It's called accountability. I called you a month ago. I called you a month ago. I called you a month ago and reported.
You do not get to dominate this phone call.
Okay, so you're sounding a lot like some of these abusers.
Hold on. So he's screaming over me, going, "You don't get to tell me to call you back in 12 hours. I was like, I told you that I called you a month ago and reported all this, and I said, hey, call me in the next 12 hours or I'm going to publish stuff that basically shows that you're not doing your job.
Extortion.
That's not extortion.
No, it's not, Christian. It's called accountability. I called you a month ago. I called you a month ago. I called you a month ago and reported.
You do not get to dominate this phone call.
This is law
You're
enforcement.
sounding a lot like some of these abusers. You're now
Law
screaming.
enforcement are sitting
You are
over there,
screaming
like,
at a
people
woman.
behind us wondering why we're here.
I called you a month ago and reported.
You do not get to dominate this phone call.
Okay, so you're sounding a lot like some of these abusers. You're now screaming. You are screaming at a woman.
Threaten me on a text message. You do not get to do that.
Okay, so what are you gonna do about
Come
it?
back at me like you are right now. I helped you.
No, you did not help
You're
me.
gonna put.
You did not help me.
I sat there and listened to you on multiple phone calls.
How did that help me?
That helped you.
How?
You even said thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening, and now you're law enforcement and you're screaming at me. You are a uniform. Are you or are you not a uniformed service member, or are you not law enforcement of some type?
I am not a uniform member. I am not in the Army.
So what are you then?
Law enforcement. But that doesn't mean that you get to call me and accuse me of something. That's called extortion.
Okay, you're screaming at me. I have a very strict policy where I do not allow men to scream at me, so I'm going to be
And I have a
disconnecting.
very strict policy of
Thank you so
allowing
much.
women to
Have a great day.
dominate.
Goodbye.
And I have
A strict policy allowing women to dominate, and you cut him
Is that what he
He
said?
yes, he said I got a very
accuse
strict.
me of something. That's called extortion.
Okay, you're screaming at me. I have a very strict policy where I do not allow men to scream at me, so I'm going to be
And I have a
disconnecting.
very strict policy of
Thank you so
allowing
much.
women to
Have a great day.
dominate.
Goodbye.
And I have
You should have let him kept talking, because he was saying he had a strict policy that he don't allow women to dominate.
Oh, well, gee
That's
golly.
exactly what he said.
So I guess our policies are not in alignment.
yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with. I reported to that man.
Well, there's a sheriff like sitting there. Report that. Like that's like why they're like, why are you sitting here
That's
on the
why.
court?
That's why they're
On
probably
the
sitting
court.
there, but they're not going to get out and say anything.
How long have they been
Like,
sitting
what are
there?
they doing? Like 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like why are
That
they sitting
CMPD
there?
officer sat there for a while, and it's probably because of their cameras.
Well, they can
right
see
there,
you
and they can see
recording,
us
and they're
right
like,
there.
What are they recording? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
we're
let's-
doing something wrong.
We're what should we do?
This is public property. It's paid for by the taxpayers, and we are allowed to sit right here anytime
Yeah.
we want. Like, we're not breaking any laws. We're not breaking
Yeah.
in the courthouse. This is county property. I mean,
And make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we talk about doing makeup and braiding hair, because we're women and that's what we're good for. We also talk about having babies and being barefoot and pregnant and making sure that we don't dominate men or demand that our rights are enforced, because like we're just ladies, right? We're just girls.
just girls.
We're just girls. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Trebuchet. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna keep it recording. I'm gonna
Okay.
go like this.
Okay.